The invoice preference maintenance screen is used solely to satisfy the needs of Oracle Accounts Receivable, a third-party accounts receivable software. Please do not enter records into this screen if you are using Dynamic 2000 accounts receivable, as you will be required in the order entry program OE2100 to enter in an invoice preference code. In our example here, we'll enter an invoice preference. We'll call it industry. So our code will be INT, description industry. And the reference mandatory field refers to the order entry program OE2100, and it forces the valid entry of a reference invoice number for an order that has already been invoiced and updated through the invoice update program. So in this case, we can check this, save our record. Now in order entry OE2100, we will be prompted for this field. If the customer that we're entering the order for in OE2100 has populated in the customer master table an invoice preference, this will be the default preference, and the order entry program will just default this value in. We'll just quickly pop into the order entry program OE2100 to take a look at where these fields are used. So if I will query now on an existing order, if I come over to the Bill To Customer field, we can say the invoice option field here, and this is where the code has to be entered in if you have populated the invoice preference maintenance screen. If you set reference mandatory on the invoice preference maintenance screen, when entering a credit note, this reference invoice field would be mandatory, and you would have to either enter in the reference invoice or use the list of values to enter in a reference invoice. We'll exit this program and go back to the invoice preference maintenance screen. I want to emphasize that please do not populate this screen with any values unless you're using the Oracle Accounts Receivable third-party software. This ends the tutorial on the invoice preference maintenance.